All right, hey guys, Jason here. We are back and we are talking about this dude right here, 2025 Silverado. We're going to talk about the Silverado 1500. We're going to talk about the Colorado, and we're going to talk about the Silverado 2500, and we are going to show you what it actually costs to own one of these things, what your cost is to buy, to own it, that kind of thing. And we got it all broke down for you. We have a ton of different examples here, variations, and we got denominators. We got everything in here. So let's take a look at it. Also, notice this right here. If you're looking for a 2025 Silverado 1500, with the amazing 2.7 Turbo Max. Many people will be like, no four-cylinder should ever be in a full-size truck, but comes with a 100,000-mile warranty. It's one of the best motors they make, and look at 2.9% for 72 months, not 36. 72 months. That is very, very nice. So there's always that option there for you. And so let's dive into this. Take a look. What are we finding on here? So we go look at it right now for new 2025 Silverado Trail Boss. I picked the Trail Boss because it's a common denominator across many of these, and there's really no way to get it any different. So we're not talking extra packages. So for the most part, we take this, we look at it nationwide. 2025, 26 isn't here anyway. So, but 2025 Silverado Custom Trail Boss. We did not change any packages. We picked a new. It automatically comes as a four-wheel drive. We did, however, change it to the 2.7 liter motor right here that you see. So we are talking Turbo Max for this one, 2.7 Turbo Max, and the Trail Boss only comes in a crew cab. So it's an easy configuration to work with. And so if we go look at this, what do we got on here? Well, let's skip past this dude. There's bombing, because they're everywhere. They just keep going. But we look at the average of these things. What are we looking at on here? We're looking at 40s, or 40,000, 40,000, 40,000. We go to the next page because there was so many of those Bahami ones or whatever, bombing ones. But we're looking 40, we'll call it 41 grand. Okay, for those of you that are being picky, we'll call it $41,000. Yes, you can get these numbers. I don't want to hear about how you can't get the deal, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so we'll call it $41,000. So you say 41 grand for this is what it's going to cost you. Okay, so you buy it new for $41,000 is what you're going to pay for it. Now, if you buy it new for $41,000, we go over to this page and we look at the same truck that is basically 2022. So 3 years old, because we can't go back that much farther for the Turbo Max. It's only came out in 2022 in this current configuration it is. But we got the Turbo Max 2022 used, same thing, custom Trail Boss, same exact truck used. What are we seeing on here? Well, we can look at some of the numbers. So what did I pick on there actually for my mileage? What did I say on here? We said 36,000 miles. So we go on to here when we look at this. So we're looking at for something in a 36,000 mile range. We have to kind of do the math. 38 here. Okay, here's 44, but 36. These bounce around a little bit. So we got to kind of pick and choose and take a look at this. And when we do the numbers, remember, we're looking for a 36,000 mile ballpark average is kind of what we're after in here. When we're doing the math, we can kind of adjust and assume, and some are different prices. We go through these and we look at what we're seeing on here, and we're looking for, again, 36,000 miles like we're seeing here, somewhere in that general ballpark's what we're after. So we go through this and we hit these and we kind of do an average. I did it for you. So we kind of wiggle through and figure out a ballpark average of what we're looking for this truck with 36,000 miles on it, and we come out with our number. So what does that number do for us? So when we look at the number here, here's where we're sitting at. If you buy it brand new, Silverado 2.7, you get it for $41,000. Used 3 years old, 36,000 miles, comes in at 35 grand. That's what the average was for all of them there. So you look at $35,000. That means that over 3 years you had a loss of $6,000 or a total ownership of the vehicle of $166 per month. Now, in the comments, people will be like, well, you didn't take into account sales tax and fees. You're right, you didn't. But the fees are there because you already got the number in there. Okay, so the fees don't matter because you already got that as part of your deal in the price. The tax varies state to state. It's too hard for me to give you a legit sales tax number. And if you want to add tax in, go ahead. Some people don't even consider it part of it because you have to pay tax on everything. That's like saying, well, you didn't take into account the cost for gas and for tire wear. Those are things that are mandatory anyway. So you can use them if you want to and adjust your numbers if you want to be that critical. But in reality, we're talking about a apples to apples comparison across the board for everybody, regardless if they're at a 0% sales tax or a 10% sales tax. So we have to keep things simple and even to even. So if you look at this, we got a new 2.7 Silverado Trail Boss. We coming in at $41,000. Used is coming in at 3 years old, 36,000 miles on it for $35,000. That means it's a loss of $6,000 over 3 years, or $166 per month. Now, if you bought that at MSRP rather than the 41, and you paid the MSRP, which was shown to you right here in all these, okay, when we go back to this one, you can see the MSRP numbers all over here, MSRP everywhere on here. Okay, you can see it, MSRP, MSRP, you can see that every place on here. So when you look at that MSRP number, we call it 52,000 average, minus the 35,000 that you're going to lose, or that you're going to get back when you sell it later. Okay, 3 years later with 36, this number right here, this one there, you end up with a $17,000 loss, $472 a month. So even if you're an MSRP buyer, it's not horrible at $472 a month, but realistically, I'd much rather be only losing $6,000 and be at $166 per month. So something to consider there. Now, what about if we go over to the Colorado, I think is what I got here. No, this is the 5.3. I did the 5.3 for you too, 5.3 Trail Boss. Same concept, same thing, but we went to the 5.3. It's this one. Sorry, I got a lot of these tabs open. But here it is with the 5.3. Everything else the same exact setup. Okay, 5.3 version. We go through here. We pick the average number on this thing. Then we're going to go through here and see the MSRP numbers right here as well too. So you can see both of these on this kind of thing. And then we went over here and we looked at used. So here's the used scenario. Silverado Trail Bosses, again, same thing. I picked the 5.3 that you see here at the top, Custom Trail Boss. We go through these. We look at the same kind of numbers, looking at 50,000 miles over 5 years on this one. We are looking at year-wise 2020. So now we're at a 5.3 Silverado. You kept it for 5 years. 60 months and 50,000 miles. And so we went through and we looked for these numbers, like right here. See, 50,000, 36, 9K. I went through and I did a lot of these and looked at this stuff. And so again, the parameters here, 2025, brand new with a 5.3, what you're going to pay for it, you know, kind of your out-the-door price versus your MSRP price, and also what it's used 5 years later with the with 50,000 miles on it. When we go over here to our chart and we take a look at this and we roll that up, hang on here, let me go. Here it is right here. Silverado 5.3, $44,000 is your cost to buy. That's what we're seeing right here as we look at these. Okay, and we do the math of all this whole first page. Call it $44,000, $45,000 if you want. But I said 44, I think. Am I even in 2 pages in or 3 pages in? Yeah, I'm like 4 pages in. Okay, I'm already 4 pages into this from the lowest price. So we can go back even over here. You'll see, like I said, where our numbers are coming in. See, 41s, 42. So my 44 is a legit number. Okay, so we come in at that, and then we know our MSRP is 56, 57. So where does that put us at on here? So used 5 years old, 50K, 1,000 miles, 35 is about average ballpark price you're going to get for it on value. That means that if you bought it for the 44K and you got a good deal, you bought it for 44K, you lose $9,000 over 5 years. That's $150 per month. MSRP, though, if you bought it at MSRP at 56 and you're only worth 35, you lost $21,000. Now it costs you $350 a month to own it. So it's pretty crazy. But look at here, this 9K or $150 a month to drive it for 5 years, 50,000 miles. The 2.7 that we have right here was basically very similar for the 2.7, and we drove it for 3 years, and we $166 a month. So you can see there's not much difference. Even the MSRP here, $472 for 3 years to drive for 3 years, 36, or $350 to drive this one for 5 years, 50,000 miles. So the longer you own it, the better prices you're going to get. There's no doubt about it because of that depreciation, but it is very interesting. Now, what if we do a Colorado? Let's go over here and do a Colorado. So here's a Colorado. Am I? Yeah, no, wait, I'm still, that's the used one. I got to check my tabs. Here we go, Colorado. So for the Colorado, what I did is I did skip a couple like I did for the Silverado. I skipped a couple pages in. No, I did not. All right. Sometimes this Bowman or whatever it is place, like I said, overruns the ads. But here we go. 2025 Colorado. Again, we picked Trail Boss because it's all standard all the way across the board. We got a 2025 Trail Boss. We go through, we look at the numbers we're seeing on these things. We got the MSRP. Notice there's not as big of a deal. Okay, you're only talking a difference of a couple of grand off on a 2025. Only a couple grand right now because the 25 Trail Bosses are just coming out. There's not many of them out there yet. A lot of them are in transit. Okay, these, a lot of these vehicles will be in transit. There's not many on the floor yet, and you're only talking a difference of a few $1,000. That's not that impressive, and we are sorted lowest price first. So there's not the deals like when you look at the Silverado. Okay, and we go here, look at a price difference here, $12,000 off. Okay, so there's big numbers. And we're already a few pages in, I think. Again, were we? Yeah, 2 pages in on the Silverado. So Silverado's got some good deals. Now, if we come back over to this Colorado, though, we take the average number for this Trail Boss payment. And then we are going to go, what did I go for that one? Let's look here. On that one, we went... Colorado was $38,000 to buy it new, used, 2-year-old, because this Colorado's only been out for a while, 2025 to 2023. But if we go used 2-year-old at 24,000 miles, we're about $36,000. And we're going to see that right here is used. And again, we can run these numbers and get a ballpark for 24,000 miles and 3 years old, or 2 years old. So you can kind of, again, judge the difference in here on where they're coming in at, 24,000 miles. Based on what we're seeing, we can do that math and kind of come up with a good ballpark average. So we did. And so what we come in at is 24,000 miles, $36,000. That is a $2,000 loss to buy a brand new Colorado Trail Boss, drive it for 2 years, 24,000 miles, and dump it for $36K. You lose $2,000 or $83 a month for that 2 years. If you bought it at MSRP of $42,000, and you sold it for $36,000, you lost $6,000. Still only $250 a month. Again, not bad at all. These Chevys are not costing you a fortune to drive. Not bad at all. But then we went one step further, and I even did it for the HD truck. So if we go over here and we look at the HDs, now this one you had to get more technical because of all the configurations. There wasn't a Trail Boss model before, so I can't pick that. So what we did here is I picked the 6.6 liter gas motor. That's what this right here means. We said gasoline. We picked a crew cab, all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive version in a custom, in a 2500. Okay, you can see here 2500 custom. So this way we're apples to apples on here. So this is nationwide. We picked 2025s on here. We picked 2024s too, but there were none in here. But so we're seeing the numbers we're looking at on here. So basically, when we do the math on this, we got to get past this guy too. Like I said, they bug me how they overrun that. We're already 2 pages in. But when I did these numbers here, you can see too, we're $56,000 for MSRP, $58,000 for MSRP, $58,000 MSRP, $58,000. So I did the same exact concept for this one. And what we have here is we have a new 2025 2500 6.6 gas crew cab. You're looking at $49,000. Okay, for a great price, getting a good deal on it. Used, 5 years old with 50,000 miles on it, it's going to come in at $40K. Again, I don't want to keep having to go back and show you, but that's where we do the math here so that you're not questioning my results. I'll show you real quick how you can kind of determine that based on what we're seeing here number-wise. Okay, what we're coming in at, here's 166. You can kind of see how easy it was to get that ballpark figure on here, right here. Look at, you can see how over all these averages where we come up with that. So we get this. We come up with a 2500 6.6 crew is $49,000 new, used, 5 years old, 50,000 miles. You're going to sell it for about $40 grand. Okay, that means you're going to lose $9,000 over 5 years or $150 a month. If you bought it at MSRP of $57,000 and you sold it for $40,000 5 years later with 50K miles on it, you lost $17,000 or $283 a month. So are they ridiculously expensive? No, not really. Do they hurt real bad price-wise? No, not really, especially if you buy them right. So think about that factor here as I zoom out on this and we look at it. It's going to get, I'll keep it big and we'll just pan for you. But when we look at this here, you can buy a new Silverado 2.7 for $166 a month, basically, for 3 years, okay? Or you can buy a new Silverado 5.3 and drive it for 5 years for the same price, $150. Or you can buy a new Colorado and get it for drive it for 2 years and get it for $83 a month, half the price of either of them. Or you can buy a new 2500 Silverado 6.6 crew cab, drive it for 5 years, 50,000 miles, and it costs you $150. Basically the same as a Silverado full size 1500. Silverado 2500 is about the same. Now we look at MSRP, 52, 56. We go down here, 57. They're all pretty similar in price. Now this one's a bigger difference, but it's also a lower MSRP. So hopefully this gives you some insight into the reality of what you can do and what it should cost you realistically, cost to own for one of these trucks. So I'll do this with Ford too. We'll do this with Toyota. I'm going to do this with all of them. It's kind of a fun little thing, and I'm going to knock some of these out. I might even get some more made today and have them ready to roll over the next few days for you. Questions, comments, put them down below. Thanks for watching.